You've been lied to. The story of the Nephilim isn't just some myth buried in ancient texts. It's a warning, a tale so dark, so chilling that it was nearly erased from history. But tonight, we're bringing it back. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never see the world the same way again. What if I told you the Nephilim weren't just giants? That their existence was part of an ancient war, a rebellion that began before the world was even formed? And what if I told you that Lucifer himself wasn't just involved, but that he orchestrated the entire thing? Buckle up, because this is the story your pastor never told you. Let's go back, way back, to the days before the flood. Genesis 6:4 speaks of the sons of God coming down and taking human women as their wives, creating a race of giants, the Nephilim. But what most people don't realize is who these sons of God really were and why they did it. This wasn't about love. This was about war. Before Lucifer became the adversary, the Satan we all know, he was the most powerful, radiant being in existence. The Bible calls him the morning star, the highest of God's creations. But power breeds pride, and pride breeds rebellion. Lucifer wasn't just jealous of God, he wanted to be God. And so with a third of heaven's angels, he waged war in the realms beyond our understanding. When Lucifer lost, he didn't just vanish, he fell. And so did his followers. But they weren't finished. No. This was just the beginning. These fallen angels, watchers as some ancient texts call them, were bound to the earth, and they had a plan. If they couldn't overthrow heaven, they would corrupt God's greatest creation instead. Adam and Eve were just the start. Humanity was pure, untainted, God's image walking the earth, and Lucifer, he hated it. He whispered in the shadows, tempted, deceived, and when that wasn't enough, he sent his army. Those fallen angels who followed him, they took human women, they created offspring, monstrosities, half angel, half human hybrids, the Nephilim. But here's where it gets really dark. These Nephilim weren't just giants. They were rulers, tyrants. They consumed everything, food, land, even humans themselves. Ancient texts outside the Bible speak of their insatiable hunger. But why? Why would fallen angels create something so unnatural? Because they wanted to corrupt the bloodline. See, God had made a promise. A savior would come through the seed of man, a Messiah, and Lucifer. He was terrified. If he could pollute every human bloodline, then no pure human could ever be born. Meaning no savior, no redemption, no victory for God. And so the world spiraled into chaos. God had no choice. The flood wasn't just about wiping out sin. It was about preserving something. A single untouched bloodline. Noah, the last untainted human. And so the flood came, washing away the Nephilim and their corruption. But that's not where the story ends. The Nephilim weren't completely destroyed. Somehow, some way, they returned. Maybe a second incursion of fallen angels, maybe hidden survivors, but they reappeared, giants in Canaan, the very ones the Israelites had to fight. Ever wondered why God commanded entire cities to be wiped out in the Old Testament? Because these weren't just normal people. They were something else. And now, here's the part that no one wants to talk about. What if I told you the Nephilim never really left? That their bloodlines still exist today, that the very elites who control this world, the ones who shape our politics, our media, our reality, might not be fully human. The Book of Enoch warns that in the last days, the spirits of the Nephilim would return, influencing the world in ways we can't even comprehend. This goes deeper than just legends. Look around you. The symbols, the structures, the eerie similarities across ancient civilizations, Mayan, Egyptian, Babylonian. How did they all know about the same entities, the same rituals, the same gods? What if those gods weren't gods at all, but remnants of something much older, much darker? And here's the question you really need to ask. What if the war that started in heaven never actually ended? What if it's still happening, right now, all around us? What if the Nephilim's influence runs through bloodlines hidden in plain sight in the most powerful families on earth? What if those same entities are preparing for something bigger, something apocalyptic? Think about this. Why does nearly every major secret society, every ruling elite, every ancient civilization reference the same beings? What if they've been guiding history from behind the curtain? What if they've been preparing for the final battle? And here's the part that will really keep you up at night. What if the Nephilim are no longer just in human form? What if the advancements in genetics, artificial intelligence, and transhumanism are all leading to the return of these ancient hybrids? Could we be witnessing the next evolution of Nephilim, one that's more advanced, more dangerous, and completely undetectable? Wake up, because the Nephilim story isn't ancient history, it's prophecy. And it's unfolding before our eyes. If this blew your mind, if this shook you to your core, share this video. Let the world see the truth before it's too late. And if you want more revelations like this, subscribe to Sugar Bites News. Because trust me, we've barely scratched the surface.